like business opportunity. See what I mean? AI. I didn't need that. The LifeVantage business opportunity of a lifetime. If you're a guest tonight, welcome. That was the case for me in my mother-in-law's dining room 16 years ago. And I was working two jobs. We had come from a missionary background, and we came back to the States during the housing market collapse, 2006. My wife and I, Mark and Krista Harris, and we found ourselves living in the suburbs, Kansas City, Missouri, not on the bucket list, working as a kitchen designer, and I had a freelance graphic design business. And it was my mother-in-law who'd heard about the opportunity that you're going to hear about tonight, a breakthrough technology in a field now called nutrigenomics. We had no idea what that was 16 years ago, never heard that word 16 years ago. We just knew that what was being shown to us was going to fundamentally change health and wellness and business, frankly, as we knew it up to that point. I was 45. I didn't have two nickels to rub together, despite the fact that I was working two jobs. And because my mother-in-law had the temerity to invite us to hear this information and then loaned her knucklehead son-in-law the money to start a home-based business. That set us on a trajectory to hit escape velocity from the coin-operated world of the employee. So here's the disclaimer tonight. Yeah, I'm about to introduce our presenter and our featured celebrity executive consultant tonight. But if you're a guest, here's the disclaimer. There's so much robust and powerful information that we just have been experienced in for 16 years. There's no way, there's no way to communicate the power of transformation physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, relationally, that the information can offer you if you take advantage of it tonight in a 30-minute window, or even an hour. So it's my privilege to introduce the person with the hardest job on the call tonight, and that is my friend and business partner, executive consultant Candy Kreslak from Montana. Candy and I, we've known each other for many years now. Candy participates in a leadership group that we fell in love with several years ago called Building Depth. That's this system, this group of leaders that you'll see on the call tonight. And if you're new to network marketing, you can't do it alone. If you've ever done a home-based business sort of like this, an MLM or micro franchising, you know that not always do you have a plugged-in support team, an upline, who first of all cares about you, second of all knows what they're doing. And so this is the group of leaders that we got to choose. And these strangers became friends. And then these friends became family. So I see Candy not only as a business partner and a mentor and an exceptional leader. She's like my sister. We just didn't have the same parents. So it's my privilege to introduce Candy Kreslak, and then I'll be back to talk about what next if this sounds good to you, if you've been praying, hoping, looking for something, if this sounds like the thing you've been praying for, then we'll talk about what happens next. But Candy Kreslak, my friend, take it away.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Mark. Isn't he incredible? Like, I have looked up to Mr. Mark Harris for years and years and years. And my disclaimer before I start, if you guys see my lips are a little off, I had a dentist appointment. Everything is okay. Half of my face is still numb. So I didn't think it was going to be dumb. Anyway, I am so grateful to be on this call with each and every one of you leaders that is on this call tonight. Thank you for showing up. Welcome to all of the guests that are on the call tonight. I think you're going to get some amazing information. And I just want to ask you guys a question before I get started. Are you still dreaming? Because what I realized about myself almost 7 years ago was that I had stopped dreaming. And I had stopped dreaming because I was surviving. And I feel like there's so many people right now that have lost hope. There's so many people that are surviving. There's so many people living in that hamster wheel. You guys, I want you to start dreaming bigger, faster, because you can create the life that you want to live. Every single one of you is worth it. Every single one of you deserves it. And there's nothing different about us than any of you. Anybody can do this. And so I want to take you back, though. I want to take you back to almost 7 years ago. It'll be 7 years in September. I was working as a registered nurse at the time. I was traveling all over the state of Montana. I was putting about 32 to 3,500 miles a week in my car. I was raising 4 kids. I was suffering from a lot of health conditions after a car accident, and I was exhausted. I didn't even want to get out of bed in the morning. Have any of you ever felt like that? I was trying to show up. I was trying to be a good mom. I was trying to be a good nurse. I was trying to be a good wife. When I look back at that, I was really failing at everything because I was just surviving and I was exhausted and I didn't feel good. And I was exhausted mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. I needed to change something in my life, but I didn't know how to change. I didn't know who to look to. I didn't know who to talk to. I didn't know that there was other options out there for me. The reason I became a nurse is because I deeply care about people. I wanted to impact people in a bigger way. I knew from a really young age that I was here for a bigger purpose, and I hope that each and every one of you realize that too. Do you know that the two most important days of your life are the day that you're born and the day that you realize why? And every single one of you is here for a purpose. Every single one of you is a gift. And so 7 years ago, my friend invited me to hear about the information that you are all going to hear about tonight. I didn't want to show up that day. I actually took my daughter with me, my 9-year-old daughter at the time. I took her with me so I had an out because I did not want to be there. I knew it was another one of those things, right? Any of you think that it's just another one of those things? Because I knew it was in my mind. I showed up anyway because my friend asked me to come support her. I showed up anyway and I watched an ABC News primetime investigative report. If you have not seen the ABC News report, you need to reach out to the person that invited you to this call and you need to watch that after this call tonight because that changed my life. Not only did I sit in a living room with Miss Summer Smolik. Have you met Summer Smolik? Anybody on this call? Do you know who Summer Smolik is? I sat in a living room with Summer Smolik, and oh, we gotta mute Carolyn. I sat in the living room and I watched the ABC News primetime investigative report. And I went from like this on my couch with my arms crossed on my friend's couch to sitting on the edge of my seat and thinking, oh my gosh, if this is real, it's going to impact the world. This is going to revolutionize the way we do healthcare. This is going to, everybody deserves to hear this information. Oh my gosh, if this is real, I could create another stream of income and I could get time back in my life. Because I would tell you that my kids were the most important people in my life, but guess what? I was the biggest hypocrite that you would ever meet because my 4 kids never got to see me. I was working so many hours, and by the time I got home, I wasn't present because I was so exhausted mentally that I had nothing left to give. I wanted so badly to get that time back so that I could actually raise my kids. And that's what I saw in that moment. You guys, I will tell you that was the first time in several years that I had a little glimpse of hope. And I thought, if this is real, I want to be a part of it. I want to be a part of it. And what I saw on that ABC News report was a doctor who had been, this started out as anti-aging research, and he had been researching something called free radicals. If you haven't heard of free radicals are environmental toxins. It's in Free radicals are in the air you breathe, the food you eat, the water you drink, the Wi-Fi, the 5G, the pesticides, all of the nasty things in our environment that are bad for us that are also coming into our body and affecting our bodies at a cellular level, causing our bodies to age faster and essentially leading to disease, right? And so he was researching this and he was trying to figure out how can we combat that? How can we get rid of the free radical damage that's turning into something called oxidative stress? Have you guys ever seen what happens to an apple when you cut it in half and you put it on the counter and you just leave it there for a couple of hours? It browns. That's like oxidative stress. That's what happens to our bodies as we age, as we're exposed to all of these environmental toxins. So Dr. Joe McCord on this ABC News report figured out a way to synergize 5 plants together in a patented formula. And that product is called Protandem NRF2. I had never heard about Protandem before. Is there anybody else on this call that's never heard about Protandem before? Until you, if you're already involved, had you heard about it before you heard about the first opportunity call that you had? Like, I had never heard about it and I was blown away because what Dr. Jill McCord proved is that by taking this pill, this is not a supplement, this is an activator, this is a category creating product. And so, what this product does is take it to make it. When you put Protandim NRF2 in your body, it allows your body to create antioxidants that fight off the free radical damage and slow down the aging process. So when I really started looking into this, and you guys do not need a medical experience, but I love the science because I'm coming from a nursing background, but you don't need that. It doesn't matter. But when I really started looking into this, I was looking at all of the research and how many studies on oxidative stress and how many diseases are related to oxidative stress caused by free radical damage. And I thought, oh my gosh, every living, breathing mammal on this planet needs this product in their mouth and nobody knows about it. So on that ABC News report, Dr. Jill McCord actually proved that this product worked because ABC News came in to debunk the company. They were like, you're making false claims. We're going to shut the company down. And so what happened was Dr. Jill McCord asked the reporter John from the show if he would be willing to be on a 30-day trial of Protandim to see if it worked for him. He agreed to it, you guys. So he agreed to it. So they walked him across the street to an independent lab. They drew his blood. It's called a T-bars test. A T-bars test is a lab test that any of us can get done. It measures the amount of oxidative stress you have in your body. They drew his blood. They gave him this pill and they said, take this pill once a day for 30 days and come back and we're going to retest your blood. He came back in less than 2 weeks. He didn't even give it the full 30 days, which really wasn't fair to the claim that was being made, but they retested him anyway. His oxidative stress in his body was reduced by 45% in less than 2 weeks. If you look at the graph, it took the levels of oxidative stress in his body down to what you'd expect to see in a newborn child. Can you imagine what happened to our company when that aired on TV? ABC News did not have to air that on TV. They chose to air that. Thank you, ABC News. That's probably the first and last time I will thank the news station, but thank you, ABC News, for doing that. So they aired that on TV, and what happened was is we were a retail company. We were selling Protandim in a retail space of health food stores. We were averaging somewhere around 3 million a year. In 24 hours after that aired, we had over 5 million in sales. Because could you imagine the millions of families sitting in their living room? I'm just picturing this, all of these families in their living room watching this that night and thinking, my aunt needs that, my grandma needs that, my brother needs that, my child needs that, everybody, my dog needs that, everybody that I know, love, and care about needs that product in their body. But now we're sitting on a problem, right? It's a good problem to have, but we're sitting on a problem because when you go from 3 million a year to 5 million overnight, how does the supply keep up with the demand of how many people want? But it was also a blessing in disguise because when you look, that's when some of the research started on Protandim NRF2. There was third-party medical accredited universities that saw that ABC News report and they wanted to start researching this product because they thought, if this is real, this is a big deal. And so to date, because of the research over the last several years, Protandim NRF2 has over 30 peer-reviewed studies that are third-party initiated and third-party funded. You guys, that's a big deal. That's a really big deal, especially when it comes to all natural. Like there isn't any other supplement on PubMed.gov by name. There's ingredients, but not by name. And to see over 30 peer-reviewed studies, so what happened was we figured out very quickly that this product was so powerful, it needed a voice. It needed a voice to be able to tell the story of what this product does because it can't sit on a shelf. A blue bottle that says Protandim NRF2 Synergizer, nobody is going to have any clue that it helps your body turn on its own antioxidant production and reduces oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. Unless that bottle can talk to you, the best form of business is word of mouth. So in 2009, we launched as a publicly traded network marketing company on the NASDAQ called LifeVantage. Are you guys excited about that? Like, come on, are you excited about that? Okay, I'm really excited about that. But 7 years ago, I was not. The only reason at that point I started doing research on what the industry actually was is because of what I saw with Protandem NRF2. I wasn't interested in being part of the industry of network marketing. That was just me and my experience. But have any of you felt like that before? I had a lot of friends that were involved in the industry. I felt like they were doing a lot of work for little return. I was already exhausted. I didn't have time to go to parties or sell products to friends and family or set up a booth at a trade show. And frankly, I didn't want to do any of that. But they said this was different. And I decided that I needed to do my due diligence and I needed to educate myself on what this industry actually was. Network marketing is the most phenomenal form of business out there. You guys, it's an even playing field for everybody. It doesn't discriminate against anybody. It doesn't matter how old you are, what education level you have, if you're male or female. You can have a GED all the way up to a PhD and you could be successful at this. Nothing matters. It matters if you have dreams and goals, if you have a servant heart, if you're willing to go help other people. Here, I'll give you the secret. If you want to be successful, go help everybody else hit their dreams and goals and make that a priority, and you will hit your dreams and goals because that's what this is truly about. But you guys, network marketing is the second highest paid profession in the entire world behind professional athletes. I had no idea. I thought people were spending more money than they were making, and they had a whole garage full of inventory. Have you guys had the whole, like a Mary Kay lady with a whole garage full of inventory? Because I've seen that before, and I'm like, I don't want to get stuck with a bunch of inventory. The second highest paid profession, I mean, they're anticipating that this is going to be the number one paid profession in the next 2 to 5 years because guess what? Families are struggling financially. Do you all realize how much families are struggling financially right now? Financial disease is almost a bigger problem than health disease right now. Financial disease leads to dis-ease, which leads to disease in the body. Most marriages fail because of financial disease. 80 to 90% of Americans are struggling financially and living paycheck to paycheck. People can't afford to put gas in their car. They can't afford to put food on their table. Moms, dads are working 2 to 3 jobs and not being able to raise their own children because they're trying to keep a roof over their head. You guys, this is a really big deal, but what if we could help families make an extra $200 a month? What if we could help them make an extra $500 a month? What would that do for you if you were making an extra $1,000 a month? Would that change your life? What if you were making an extra $5,000 a month? You guys, you can make whatever you want to make here, and we're going to grab a hold of you. We're going to lock arms with you, and we're going to do this with you because you can't do this alone. You won't be successful. This takes all of us locking arms together to make this happen because we are way more powerful together than we are alone. So those are the things that I was looking at. I looked at the fact that this company is publicly traded, which meant to me that we have financial transparency, we have financial integrity, and I thought, oh my gosh, I didn't know of any other company that was publicly traded, to be honest with you. And I wanted that. I wanted to be able to see the numbers. I wanted to be able to see the income that I could make. I wanted to be able to see if I could replace my income as a registered nurse and if I could come home with my family. You guys, I haven't had a job in 6 years as of this month. I went from taking 17 pharmaceutical medications a day to being pharmaceutical free. I feel better today as a grandma than I felt when I was in my 20s. So people ask themselves, is this worth it? Can I do it? Right? Those are the questions. Is it worth it and can I do it? Yes, 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 and yes. So when I looked at that, I saw that we were about a $200 million company at the time, but we were debt free. You guys, we had over 20 million in cash reserve. And I thought, okay, like when you actually look at the industry, we're looking really, really, really good for the industry. And now it's looking even better for all of you leaders that are on this call that can feel and see the momentum and what's happening with this company. You guys are in the right place at the right time with the right people and the right leadership. I promise you that if you grab a hold of us, you put your oars in the water and you trust in us and let us mentor you and follow the system that we're going to teach you with building depth, you will be successful at this. And so then I started looking at the timing. Again, you guys, I was not familiar with the industry, so I didn't understand any of this. It's okay if you're walking into this call and you have no idea what this industry is. But I looked at the timing of the company and I saw, when I first started, I saw a chart that said it takes about 120 to 150,000 people per country to start kind of what's called that branding phase. That's where all of the growth and the wealth of the company, that's where the momentum is. When you get to the top of that, that's stabilization. It's the too late phase. And I'm not saying you can't be successful with a company when you're at that level, but it's going to be a lot harder. We have less than 100,000 consultants, independent consultants for this company globally. We're in about 25 countries right now. We have about 54,000 consultants in the United States. Do you guys think that you're sitting on a huge opportunity? Because I'm going to tell you that I think this is the biggest opportunity that will cross our paths in our lifetime. Truly, this is the apple of healthcare, and nobody knows about it. There's billions and billions and billions of dollars right now being spent on the research of oxidative stress and the effects on the body and aging and disease, but nobody has a solution except for us. You guys want to be the company with the solution, with a product that's patented, proven, and protected that nobody can take from us? I'm so excited, you guys. I can barely stand it. So then I'm looking at the mentorship because I was scared to death. Is there anybody else on this call that feels scared? Like I could never do what she's doing. Do you feel that? You're like, I could never share with this many people on a call. I will tell you, I was so nervous before this call. I was so nervous. And before every single call, I pray. And I pray and I pray and I pray. And I pray that I can show up, that I can impact at least one of you on this call, that I can say at least one thing that's going to change your life and make you believe that you can do this because you're worth it. You guys, this isn't easy, but the person that you become on the other side is so worth it because you have to be willing to become a better version of yourself so that you can help more people. My very first Zoom call, I couldn't even talk. My lips turned blue. I dropped my phone and I almost passed out. I say I almost died, but really I didn't almost die. I just almost passed out, but it felt like I almost died, right? So if I can do this, you can do this. I promise you. We are all going to do this together. So then I started looking at the product lines, but honestly, I'm going to tell you that Protandim NRF2 is all this company needs. It's all this company needs. That product is the product that we started with, and that's all we need. We cover full body health. We have something here for everybody, but we need to focus on the product that is what started this company, that's going to revolutionize the way we do healthcare that nobody else has, but that everybody needs, right? And then I started looking at, well, how do I even do this? Because I didn't even understand the difference between a linear and a leveraged income. Is there anybody on this call that wants to say that they didn't understand that either, or am I the only one? I had no clue. My parents are amazing. They taught me. I've had a job since I was 15, 14 years old. I've worked my guts out for everything. We weren't born into money. Nothing was ever handed to me. I am so appreciative and grateful to my parents for making me work for what I wanted because I just think that gives you something different, right? And I thought that you had to work harder. You had to work harder and you had to chase the dollar and you had to trade your time for money. And if you didn't go to work, you didn't get paid. That's why I had a baby at a really young age. I had a baby when I was in high school. I graduated high school early with him on my hip. I went straight into nursing school and I graduated nursing school because I wanted a better life for my family. I didn't want my kids to have to struggle. I wanted to leave them something, but as I started working as a nurse through my career, I realized that there's too much month at the end of the money, not enough time in a day to go anywhere financially, no matter how much you make. Especially if you have kids, because there's more money going out than there is coming in, and it doesn't stop when they become adults. Did you guys know that? I'm sorry if I just popped your bubble, but it doesn't stop. It actually kind of gets a little bit more because then you're paying for college and marriages and grandkids. I mean, I cannot stop spoiling my grandson. He was born on my birthday last year, so he's 7 months old, and he is going to get anything he wants from his grandma, no matter what. I'm just kidding. But probably. I mean, I'm really not kidding. So I was looking at that and I thought, oh my gosh, we're stuck. It's like we're stuck in this hamster wheel. We're stuck in the matrix. Have you guys ever felt like that? We're never going to be able to get ahead. It doesn't matter if I go back to school and I get my NP or if I go back to school and I get my doctorate. None of that matters. Then you have all of this student debt that you're never going to pay off. And I kept thinking, oh my gosh, what if something happens to us? What if something happens to my husband? Have we dug a well? Have we dug a well before we needed it? No, we hadn't, because we realized that when I was in my car accident in 2017, that we were one devastation away from total loss of everything. Honestly, you have no idea, you guys, we are not promised tomorrow. So what if you made a decision today to to change your life, right? What if you took a leap of faith? What if you said, enough is enough? What if you drew a line in the sand and said, what if this works for me? What if? Because what are you going to lose? If you don't make a decision to change, nothing's going to change in your life. 5 years from now, your life is going to look exactly the same. It could look maybe a little bit worse. Maybe it'll look a little bit better, but you're still going to be in the same spot. You're still not going to be able to, if something happens to you. I don't know if you guys have heard Blue Elam's story, but that hits my heart every time. And I'm just in tears when I hear his story. But I'm so grateful that Blue saw an opportunity with this company, LifeVantage, and said yes to it, because that piece of it took so much stress off of their family with all of the things that they had to go through. Having everything covered financially, you guys, financial, I mean, to have choices and options as a family is huge. So when I saw this and I thought, how do I create leveraged income? What do you mean by that? Because I'm not a singer-songwriter. I don't sing songs. I don't do artwork. Like, I mean, I could try to sing for you guys, but I am definitely not a Mark Harris or a Cynthia. I am not that good. Like, maybe I could be a backup singer. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe I'll try it one of these times. But I'm not going to make any money doing it. And I thought that was the only way you could make a leveraged income. Well, guess what? We have about 30 products. Most of our products are 30-day consumables. What does that mean? That means that you're going to run out after 30 days. That means that people are going to be on a subscription and they're going to keep ordering. Subscription volume is the lifeline of your business, but it takes 2 to 5 years to build up that base of talking to at least 15 or more people a month, sharing this information, caring about people, giving people choices and options, and letting them decide. In what other profession can you share information one time, 7 years ago in my case, and make money on that one conversation every single month? Because the person that said yes is never going to stop taking these products because the products have changed their life. Because the person that said yes is never going to be away from this community because this community has changed their life. Because an extra stream of income has changed their life, because they got a little bit of time back in their life with their family. You guys, people join this for so many different reasons. But they told me when I started, they said, give me 2 to 5 years, lock arms with me, follow this system of 5 principles and behaviors, 15 or more presentations a month, attend all events, always do what you say you're going to do, stay in control of your business, and promote. If you follow that system for 2 to 5 years, you can become an executive consultant in this company. The bottom, the EC1 level, took me exactly 5 years to the month to hit. The average income for that level is about $12,000 to $13,000 a month. Would that change your life? Anybody on this call, would that change your life? I want you to start thinking bigger and dreaming bigger, because some people think, oh my gosh, that's way too much money. I don't need that. How could you impact your community with that money? How could you impact your country with that money? How could you impact globally with that money? You guys, you got to think bigger on what can you do. The more money you make, the more impact you can have. When you surround yourself with servant-hearted, like-minded people that want to make this world a better place, you can do big, big things. If you truly want to have a big impact in this world, you need to lock arms with people, amazing people like on this call. So thank you all for being here. You need time and you need finances. We can go change the world together. And then I thought, okay, I'm in. How do I get involved? Give me my options. There's a couple of different ways you can become involved in this company. And you guys, and then I'm going to end on the compensation plan. It is an amazing compensation plan. It is very lucrative. But how do I get involved? How do I start this? First, you make a decision. You can become a customer and you can order products if that's what you want to do. It's your choice. Or you can lock arms with us. You can be the CEO of your own business. You can own your own micro franchise anywhere from 225 up to 999 and everything in between. There's like 12 different packs right now. if you're serious about starting a business and you can, and it's not going to put you in a financial bind, do everything you can to come in at 9.99. You guys, I promise you, you will thank me later. It is so important because when you come in at 9.99, not only do you get a $1,500 value of products, you get 2 event tickets for the next upcoming event, and you get, I feel like, this is my personal opinion, but you get tens of thousands of dollars worth of personal mentorship from the leaders that are on this call. You have access. I have seen people pay thousands of dollars for mentorship. I've been able to access all of these leaders just by being a part of this company. To sit next to Mark Harris and to learn from him and to be mentored by him, right? Just because I said yes to me and my family, and I said yes to wanting to help and impact other families along the way. You guys, people will duplicate what you do. So if you come in at that 9.99 level, your friends and family and the people that you talk to will say, well, Mark, what pack did you get? And he's going to say, I came in at 9.99. That was the only way to do it. They're going to say, that's what I want to do because I want to do what you did. Guess what? It's 100% tax write-off. All of your products that you use are a tax write-off. Those aren't products that you don't have an inventory. That 9.99 pack is not an inventory where you have a whole garage full of products, right? Those products are for you and your family to take and fall in love with and find out what products work best for you, to be able to talk about the products, to be able to have a product story, that's really important. But what I saw here, because I have a lot of friends that own conventional businesses, my husband's an independent contractor. He's been self-employed for years, which he just bought himself a job and his boss is not very nice and never gives him any time off and it's pretty miserable. Is anybody else experience that? Like when you own your own business, this is what I was thinking coming into this. And I'm like, I don't have time for that. I'm working 80 to 90 hours as a registered nurse. And I see business owners who are doing all of their own marketing and advertising. They're doing their own shipping and receiving. They have to rent a building space. They have employees, and employees are a headache, right? They have to do payroll. I mean, they're married to their businesses, and most of the time they're not even taking a paycheck. They're literally working 12, 14, 15, 16-hour days and they don't even get a paycheck. And that can happen for years. I don't even know the success rate of a conventional business, but I thought, you're telling me that I could own my own micro franchise of LifeVantage. I could be the CEO of my own business for $999. I get more in product than it cost me to become involved. I don't do any marketing and advertising. I don't have to do shipping and receiving. I don't have to do research and development. I don't have employees. They give me a 1099 at the end of the year. There's like over 200 people working at the corporate office that do all of my back office stuff. All I have to do is show up as a good person, share information with people, love on people, give them choices and options, and let them decide how they want to become a part of this company. Really? That's all I have to do? And I thought, sign me up. And then I saw the compensation plan and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is such a lucrative compensation plan. And when you start comparing it, our CEO invested $6 million 3 years ago into this compensation plan to make sure it was leading the way for the compensation plans in the industry of network marketing. You can make a lot of money. You could make money by gathering customers if that's what you want to do. You can make money by, and that's the upfront. So you can make upfront money, you can make middle money, and you can make back end money. But you can make money by gathering customers. You can make money by developing a team of people and helping your team. You guys, if you're going to share the information and sign people up, then you are a leader. You are a leader and they're going to look to you. So you need to show them what they need to do to get started with this. And Mr. Mark is going to go over that pretty soon and show you exactly what to do to get started. We're going to get paid for helping develop leadership. That's the part that I love so much. I love seeing people, empowering people, believing in people until they believe in themselves. I love watching them shine their light brighter and their gifts to come out and them to realize that they are here for a reason and that they do have a purpose. And that's my favorite part. That's why I will never leave and stop what I'm doing. You can also get paid on everything that's been done in the company for the last 17 years. What? Is that crazy? Like, is that totally, absolutely crazy? Because if you sign up today, I'm serious. You sign up today, you get to the executive ranks, and you're going to get paid on all of the volume that's happening in this company. So all of the work that's been done for the last 17 years, and you're going to get a global share in that. And I thought, I've never seen that before. You can't do that anywhere else. And you guys, this is a leveraged income that's a legacy that you're creating for your family that's willable for generation to generation to generation. Your great, great, great grandkids are going to thank you for making a decision, getting out of your comfort zone, and helping other people. You guys, I am so grateful to be on this call with all of you tonight. I hope that I said something that inspired you, that to take action, that impacted you, that is your decision on I'm drawing a line in the sand and it's my turn, it's my time to start living my life for me and to start creating the life that I want to live. You guys, this is your vehicle to be able to create any life that you want to live. And now I get to hand it over. I cannot wait to hear this part of the call because I want to hear how this amazing hero of mine, Mr. Mark Harris, goes over. He's going to share with you how do you get started? So now you've said yes, you've picked a pack, you've signed up. Now, what do I do to get started to build this business? So I'm going to hand it over to you, Mark. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Candy. That was exceptional. Always loved hearing you present and do such a masterful job about sort of painting with a set of brushes, sort of the all the spectrum of benefits that we enjoy: product, business, community, culture, training, leadership, all of it. It's so good. And so, as Candy said, if you're seeing this as a potential to escape the matrix, if you're like, yeah, what have I missed here? Get with the person that invited you to this call and just say, I'm in. I'm in. Yeah, that sounds great. Perhaps none of that made sense to you. Um, I didn't when I sat through this presentation the first time, I heard the science and product side. And I thought, oh, my mother-in-law knows I'm a recovering knucklehead. She wants me to take this product because she thinks it's going to help me. And the guy doing my presentation was talking numbers and micro franchising and publicly traded and peer-reviewed studies. Who knew what that was? Leveraged income. I didn't kind of vaguely knew what that was. So there's a couple different kinds of people right now. If you're a guest, or maybe you've heard this invitation once or twice, there are people that hear that there's a product that exists that's all natural that has been able to do something that in 6,000 years of recorded human history, nothing has been able to do, and that is reduce the cause of aging and disease by 40% in 30 days. Those are product people. And because of that product, we now have a business opportunity. So maybe you're saying yes to the product, right? But maybe the presentation that Candy's done and talked about creating leveraged income, creating a path for you to be more present with your family, to be more contributive with the people that you love the most, to be present with the people you love the most. And you don't have that now, as was my case 16 years ago. So you're saying, yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. I don't understand what I do to make that kind of income, but I'm open to learning. So you're product people, yes, business people, yes, or you're saying yes to both, which makes perfect sense. Why would you choose one or the other, right? Product or business? Yeah, that the product makes sense, the business makes sense. And then maybe you're a person that has been burned by a home-based business or a multi-level marketing deal. There's some good ones out there. There's some really bad ones out there, like restaurants, like churches. And I'm a minister, for crying out loud, so I can say that. And if that's the case, I get that. Have that conversation with the person that invited you. Say, why did you do this? Well, I mean, I trust you. I like you. Why would you do something crazy like network marketing? And that's kind of the conversation I had with my mother-in-law, who was not a pink Cadillac kind of gal. Nothing against pink Cadillacs. I wouldn't drive one. And I don't think she would drive one. But we had an honest, candid conversation about, Mom Jackie, what has you so excited that you would join a network marketing company? And as a minister's wife and a counselor, as an author, as a speaker, I mean, you nor I can afford to have our integrity challenged by some kind of snake oil fly-by-night scheme. So if that's you, if you're resonating with this information, it's really simple. It's easy to overcomplicate, in fact. I'm going to give you something controversial, in fact. Not everybody that does a micro franchising business would agree with what I'm about to say. Now I've got your attention, don't I? Most people think that they've got to buttonhole their friends and their family to get them to do their thing, right? I'm going to suggest that you not do that the first thing when you buy that in business pack tonight or tomorrow, whenever you buy it. I'm going to suggest that you get with a person that's enrolling you as their sponsor and meet the team, meet some of these leaders. I want you to hear Rob Smalling's story. I want you to meet Blue Elam. I want you to to hear Dave and Joanne Madison's story and so many of these leaders. If and here's the reason why. If I was going into, I don't know, rocket science, I'm not, but if I was, and I had a friend that knew Elon Musk personally, and he knew that I was interested in rocketry or whatever that's called, rocket science. And he called up his friend Elon and said, Elon, I've got a buddy. And he wants to learn the industry. He wants to learn space travel and all the stuff that you do. Would you be willing to mentor him in that field? If Elon Musk picked up the phone and talked to me, if I wanted to pursue a vocational career in space travel, what would my confidence level be in being able to actually pursue that career path with success? Pretty high, right? So the people that we get to hear from on these calls, it's not theory for them. This is fact. This is experience. They've done the good, the bad, the ugly. They've taken the bruises and the cuts and the blood, and they've come out the other side victorious. They've learned over a period of time. They've shown up consistently for their teams. And now they're the people that hit escape velocity with their finances. And they're not coin operated employees anymore, or even small business owners. These guys are micro franchise owners that are creating leveraged income, which is like a pipeline. Once that's built, it continues to pay month after month, year after year, which creates time freedom, being present with the people that you love the most. So we have that level of mentorship, which a lot of people don't have in this industry, in this business model. And that's why, frankly, we are tickled pink to be a part of this leadership group, because the leaders at the top of this particular support system have generated $2 billion in revenue doing this very thing. So that invokes, affords a great deal of confidence. If you're on the fence and you're not sure, maybe you've done something like this in the past. Maybe you've got a weird uncle that never shuts up about his thing at Thanksgiving. I will tell you that this is different for the very reasons that Candy articulated so well tonight. A couple things just as you move forward in the decision to join us and do this with us. I will tell you there's a couple of pitfalls that people fall into. One, because of the dynamic that Candy described. If you're not an extrovert, I'm certainly not an extrovert, or if you've seen this done poorly, or you have no idea how we do this, there's some fear. Like, what do I say? I don't know anything about superoxide dismutase or NRF2 or whatever that thing was that Candy was talking about. As she said, we don't do this alone, right? The people that are part of the support team, and especially the person that's enrolling you as a consultant, that's our job to help you make those phone calls. Third party validation is what we use because most of us don't know what we're doing when we get going. And so the first thing that we did was prayed. Lord, is this something you want us to do? Seemingly, he said yes. Second of all, I prayed, Lord, I don't know how to do this. I don't know who you want me to talk to. I guess that's how this works. We're the message, or the messenger, not the message. So we got to reach out and see who's open, who's praying for something like this. And you're going to have to help me learn how to do this. And that's exactly what happened. So my encouragement for you, if you're saying yes tonight, is think about the people that you love the most, that you think most highly of, that you would love to work with, that you would love to travel the world on the cruise ships and the beaches of the world together, that you would love to impact and transform the lives of other people together. People that are diligent, people that have discipline, people that have positivity, that have a deep amount of gratitude, that are encouragers. Reach out to those people, put their names on a list and reach out to them tonight, today. It's 8:45 Central Time Zone, and it's not even that late Eastern Time Zone. If you understand what you've just seen that Candy has laid out for us tonight, this is fundamentally a vehicle to potentially change your life, your family's life, your children's children. Let that sense of belief and conviction and excitement permeate your conversation and reach out to people, the people on that list, and just say, hey, I just saw something. I'm not, I'm not sure what I saw, but I think I found it. Remember that thing that we were talking about? Like, if I could find a business opportunity at this stage in my life that was going to generate like a lucrative side hustle for me, that I'm not afraid of work. I just want to make sure my work is going in an effort to create freedom for me and my family. I'm not afraid to climb a ladder. I just need to make sure the ladder's on the right wall, in the words of John Maxwell. Right? So you can't do this alone. I'm inviting you to join us to do this. Reach out to the person that enrolled you and say, "Hey, introduce me to the team. I want to meet some of these guys." And then start inviting people to your house. That's what we did. And the people that enrolled us and the people that were supporting them came over, and we had this conversation in my dining room or in my living room. And I will tell you that 90% of the people that came to our house, Krista's at my house, either signed up for the business or the product or both. 90%. So you don't have to be a social media influencer to do this. You don't have to have a Facebook account. You don't have to be a massive Instagram person or a, goodness sakes, TikTok person. I just would encourage you, having done this for 16 years, having created time freedom for me and my family, to prayerfully think about the people who need to hear this and the people who would be awesome at changing other people's lives, even if they're scared, right? Reach out to them. A couple words of caution. One, there is a dynamic for people who start to do something that's uncomfortable or something that you may not be familiar with. And it's sort of the getting ready to get ready dynamic. And I would encourage you to avoid that trap at all costs. Printing business cards, printing flyers, putting them on windshields, doing trade shows or fairs or setting up tables down at the farmer's market. You can do it. I wouldn't. It's a lot more effective if you're just having real conversations with people about something you're really excited about. And I can tell you that never before, outside of ministry, was anything ever communicated to Krista and to me that surpassed our reality. I mean, reality surpassed our expectations. Because you hear these things like, man, that sounds too good to be true. What? A 40% reduction in oxidative stress in 30 days? What? It sounds too good to be true. Leveraged income, when you see the compensation plan earnings statement, you're like, what? People are making what? Just getting people on calls, having coffee with them? Yeah, that's the way this happens. It sounds too good to be true. I don't know. I will tell you that our experience in 16 years is the reality has surpassed the expectation. We love, love, love doing this. And if you'll allow that sense of belief and conviction permeate your conversations, you will have massive success by doing this. Second thing I would encourage you to do is decide how many hours per week you can allocate to building a business. Like if you were going to drive for Uber or DoorDash or some other side hustle, they would expect you to have some hours per week that were free for you to work that business. I want to encourage you to think about, if you're going to do this with us, to think about it as a business, not a hobby. People pay to have hobbies. Now, fortunately, when you pay for our products, you get to ingest those and you enjoy the benefit physically, mentally, and emotionally. But if you will invest your time and plugging into this system where we're doing invitations on a daily basis, 15 presentations a month or more, I would suggest more. You can do way more than 10 invitations a day. It takes you 2 minutes to do an invitation. Say, I found something. I'd love to just get your eyeballs on it. I'd love to get your feedback. It's something that I'm really excited about and something that is important to me. It would mean a lot to me if you took a look at this. And if you see what I see, we can do this together, and I think we're going to crush it. This is going to be huge, right? That's the invitation. Then we move to a presentation, and you don't have to do that presentation if you don't want to. You can get one of us to do that presentation. You put them on a Zoom call, just like this that Candy just did. And there's loads and loads of these opportunity calls. Um, so just to allay your potential fears about doing something like this, we have a system, right? And it works. And there's some very basic principles and behaviors, daily methods of operation that if you follow them and get out of your own way, get out of your own head, and just start opening your mouth and inviting people to look at something that's transformational, you will find people like us. You will find them. You just have to plant the seeds. And your responsibility is not what happens to the seeds. Sure, you can water them. We call that follow up. But if it's good seed, which this is definitely, you will find good soil for this stuff to grow in, as testified to by the quality of people that are on this call. So, um, yeah, you may have fear, but I will tell you that if you put your conviction in motion, it brings clarity, not confusion. If you stay static with this information, you don't do anything, you don't make a decision, you will feel confused. But the moment you start reaching out and inviting people to take a look at this, you will suddenly, it's like the fog clears and you're like, oh, that's easy. I did not die. In fact, that was kind of fun. And the more people that you see whose lives you helped transform, that's contagious. That's when your life changes forever. That's when the money is not the significant part anymore. The transformation and impact that we get to offer other people. Yeah, the lifestyle's great, right? The money does not suck, right? That's fine. But the time you get to spend with your family, the time in business you get to spend with the people that you love the most and who love you the most, jettisoning the emotional vampires from your circle of influence, no small thing, is huge. So get with the person that invited you. Say, hey, can you help me do this? Can we set up some time that you could come to my house and I can invite some people? And what are these calls? How often do you do these training calls and opportunity calls? And we do it on a regular cycle as well. There's loads of trainings. In fact, you're coming up on a LifeVantage Academy weekend. Check with the person that invited you to access that in your local area. Then we have a national calendar and actually an international calendar that all those events are posted as well. And I would move heaven and earth to get to those because that is where um, our belief was accelerated that we could actually do a network marketing thing, that we could become micro franchise CEOs and hold our destiny in our own hands by our own activities, not contingent upon some other wacky boss or privately held enterprise that I had to ask permission to go to the restroom or take a vacation. This is something that we took control of our lives and are so grateful for. So the last thing I'll mention as you're setting goals and you're discovering why you're going to do this. And to me, it always inevitably comes back to being present with the people that you love the most, creating leveraged income and a lifestyle for the people that you love the most and offering transformation to others. That's fundamentally why the people that stick around and do this, do this. You're going to set some goals, right? It's business. I would recommend as you're moving forward and doing this, that your goals not be about ranks primarily, that can be on the secondary level, or income levels right out of the gate. My encouragement for you, as you start doing this with us, is to set goals of behaviors. I'm going to do 10 invitations tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, I've got 2 hours. I'm going to do 10 more invitations and I'm going to set up a presentation at my house or the coffee shop or get on Brandon Cunningham's call or Blue Elam's call or one of these presidential consultants that do 6 opportunity meetings a week, or maybe Robin Summers. But there's loads of those opportunity meetings. So make it about the process. Make it about plugging into the system, not on results that you can't control because your cousin is going to say boo. Oh, is this one of those things? Don't call your cousin. Don't call that guy. Not yet. Call him later. The last thing I will say, and thank you for the time you guys have given tonight, with friends and family, the people that know you the most. Like my family knows I'm a recovering knucklehead. I'm 61, almost 62 years old. They know me as a Christian missionary and a minister and a kitchen designer and an artist and a performer, not as an entrepreneur. At least they didn't. And so, me using entrepreneurial language, talking about publicly traded companies and breakthrough opportunities and nutrigenomics, none of that would have landed with them. I wish I had told my parents and my siblings, hey, Krista and I are launching our own business. We're launching a micro franchise. You don't have to support, I mean, you don't have to buy anything. You don't have to do anything. I just want you to see what we're doing, and I ask for your support, whatever that means to you. Emotionally, if you want to take advantage of some of the products we're offering, if you want to become business partners, great. You don't have to. I just want you to see what I'm doing so you know what I'm doing. And I sure would appreciate your prayers and support. That's how I'd start with your family. Because quite often that negativity lives really close by. And you don't need that right out of the gate. Controversial, I know, but I wouldn't do it. Anything else I've got? Okay, that's it. Really. The next Building Depth event is in St. George, Utah, September 18th and 19th. If you're going to do this as a business, my last recommendation is that you would be in that room and not come alone, that you would bring a group of people that you want to help change the world. Call it the Chicken Little principle. We're off to see the king. We're off to change the world, right? And bring as many people as you can. Candy Kreslak, you are awesome as usual. Thank you for having the courage to say yes and join this ragtag little band of misfits that are doing exactly that, changing the world. Love you and well done tonight.
Love you
And for
too.
everybody, especially you East Coast folks. Oh, you're going to respond. I cut you off.
I was just
My
gonna say you are amazing too, and thank you.
shucks. Thank you, Candy. I always am in awe and admiration of our East Coast attendees on these calls because I know it's late there, especially those of you that have kids or jobs. Man, well done. Well done for digging in and putting the time in and investing in yourselves. So proud of you guys. With that, make it to LVA, and we'll see you. We'll see you next time. This call is officially a wrap. Love you guys. Bye for now.